I was born in Venezuela, in a little town called Valera. My father was a coffee farmer. My mother worked for the government. My family is very small. I have a sister called Koromoto. She's an engineer. And I have a brother. The name is Juan, and he's a lawyer. In my little town, when you become 7 years old, you have to be altar boy. And I start to go into the church, and no one asked me or teach me how or talk about priesthood. But I find the Eucharist a very interesting environment. And from that moment on, I decide that I will be a priest. My decision started building when I was 7 years old, when I was an altar boy. And it was very concrete when I talked to my father, I want to go to the institution, the seminary, at 11 years old.
What did he said when you said that?
My father was very surprised because I love freedom, I love the street, and I love life in a different set of mind that my father has. My father said, how are you who love the street going to an institution where you never go out? I said, no, I love it. And my life changed. My father somehow supported me, particularly my mother. And they support me during my whole life in the seminary. The truth is, I was very young. I know what my decision means to me, and I embrace it until today. My coming to the United States is a very important decision in my life. My bishop was suspended for very bad conduct, and I was a chancellor in diocese. And confronting with the scandal of my bishop, I will feel, I need to rebuild my life. And I choose to come to New York because I love it. And in 1992, I arrived to New York. In New York, I went to Ossining, to the house of Maryknoll fathers. And I was very, secluded over there because there's no people to work with, lay people, street people. And I talked to my friend and who gave me hospitality over there. And I said, hey, I need to work with people. And we introduced the papers, and we talked to Father O'Connor, and I become to Blessed Sacrament and start to work with the Hispanic community. At that moment, the Hispanic community in Blessed Sacrament was very Caribbean community, people from the islands. And my culture is a little different. I am from South America, and I learned immediately how to reach out to this culture that is so far from my own culture, and teach me so many things about how to live in New York, how to be tolerant in New York, how to embrace everyone from different point of view and different culture. And from that point on, I start to work with many people from Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Dominican Republic. And for that it was very difficult too, because as a priest come from Caracas or Puerto Ordaz, my culture is a different culture, a Jesuit culture, if you want to. The importance of the sermon is fundamental for the communication between the pastor or priest and people.
Pero me gustan mucho sus sermones. Entonces yo, en vez de ir los domingos a la iglesia de mi parroquia, que me corresponde por allá por la 144 de Santa Teresa, yo vengo aquí por oír los sermones del Padre Alexis, que me gustan mucho.
I follow the order or the book that the church present to us. I know already the issue that the church want to make sure people learn that particular Sunday. And Monday, I already start to read or find some books in literature, secular literature, because people have more elements from other part of the scripture or literature than the scripture. When I say this, people read books more than the Bible. And my approach is, if I read and I know better the books that the people read, how they achieve their own development intellectually, I can go to the point that made the scripture come to this environment and made more easy for them to have a relationship with the Holy Scripture. And that is the beginning of it. During the Friday, I always have a very important magazine that I always read. Is called The Economist. And I try to test if the investigation I start Monday is really makes sense with the economical environment, financial situation that we're having now in the city or in the world.
No es la primera vez que yo le digo a ustedes que uno de los grandes traumas que nosotros tenemos como católicos es que no hacemos teología. No hay cosa más triste que hablar de lo que uno no sabe. Y eso pasa con nosotros los católicos. Que siempre decimos que la iglesia no sirve para nada cuando uno se está echando basura a sí mismo. Pero si nosotros seguimos hablando de lo que no sabemos, nunca tomaremos responsabilidad de lo que realmente está pasando y de lo que va a pasar en el futuro.
The church is different and is requiring different ministry. And if we continue to loving the old institution and not loving people right now, we continue to have problems. The sexual scandal that the priesthood has around the world, but particularly in the United States, hit very hard the trust of the Catholic and his church. And I recognize that, and I assume as a priest that it's my task to reach out again, to build this trust between the community and the priest. And it's a daily thing, it's a weekly thing that everyone has to do in order to fulfill the ministry that the priest has to develop in the community. It is not easy, but it's something that we have to address right now. And there are the problems that we have. We don't talk to the young crowd the people who was born from 1998 until today. The church don't really have a relationship with them. People, after do the first communion, they'll disappear because they don't find anything attractive in the church. And it's up to us and up to the families to reach out to them and to seek the great passion that they have for goodness and try to make God part of His world. Part of the situation is we are in a postmodern era, if you want to. The young people now build some conception about world, family, and religion. And if we, the religious people, don't reach out to them, we'll be outside the picture. And it's happening. Every day, more young people is going away from the church than coming to the church. And the sad thing is many of my colleagues don't get it. And I'm very worried about it. That's why for example, I use the internet to reach out to them. Every day you find in the internet a very small comment about the gospel and how this comment will be a helpful tool for them. Not only is in my website or the website of my foundation, but it's all in radio here in New York, in Venezuela, in Peru, in other parts of the world. And the idea is always to present to the young crowd of the church the opportunity to know the gospel, to make questions, to present strong opinions, what I like, what I don't like about the church, and find a straight answer from the church. Not only that you have to be good and then you have to be nice. No, we need to go and see what can we do for the young crowd of the church. Because if we don't work with them, you will see, particularly in my own mass, for example, how many people are 20 years old in the mass? Few people, almost one or two. And it's amazing. This happened here when it's a parish where single people come. Because if you see the statistics of Blessed Sacrament, you will be amazed. In this parish, the people who come to the Mass is single. And, but there are no young people, the 20 years crowd to 35 crowd. So we are in a situation that we have to work hard, to rethink, to go back to the gospel, and to find inspiration in the history of the church, learn from our mistakes, and make better the thing that we have to do now. Priest in New York, not only a Latino priest, but to be a priest in New York is a great challenge. May you to be prepared every day, intellectually, spiritually, in the sense that we are calling to share the best that we have to people. So it's a real challenge to become a teacher, to empower people, to make people new leaders of new situations in the new normal that we have in New York after September 11. So to be a priest in New York is wonderful. It's make you to be a better person, more intellectually ready, and embrace the difficulties that we have in the city way, which means the way of the gospel. Like my friends know, people means to me the world, everything. I am who I am because people. They made me who I am. Every sermon, everything I do, is found, was made in love for them. I respect them. People are my masters. In the sense, I always listen, I always open to understand the meaning of life that is built in their hearts and minds. And that's why you see that my chips are very different. You don't find two equals, and I'm very proud of it. I have a little story. When I celebrate my Jubilee, my 25th years of priesthood, the Church of Blessed Sacrament was crowded for people that they don't know each other, but they know me. And they were happy and celebrating the whole priesthood. And the amazing thing was that I decided to do a concert for the celebration. And in the concert, the musicians, like you know, many of them don't practice any religion. But it was a wonderful moment that you see a very good friend of mine, Hare Krishna, playing in the church music for enjoyment of so many people, and you see jazz people playing and folk people playing, and everyone was happy. And in the end, I remember a person arrived to me and said, that is priesthood, in the sense that you do the things that you know how to do, and you keep it in the sense that to you in a way that may they comfortable to become to the presence of God.
Mi nombre es Gustavo Bernal.
Mi nombre es Rafael Andestoy.
Mi nombre es Edith Ramírez López.
Es bien particular tratar de explicar qué lo hace único. De hecho, muchas veces cuando él me mencionó que iban a hacer este documental, él me preguntó, ¿qué crees que me hace único a mí? ¿No? Entonces, porque él me dijo, yo no considero que tengo nada único, ¿no? Y en realidad yo le dije, es muy sencillo, ¿no? Primero que todo, yo considero que él es muy auténtico como persona. Para mí siento que hay una relación muy estrecha con un tío mío que es sacerdote, que también bueno, falleció hace más o menos